Hello everybody. And we're back with our holiday debrief for you as promised on our recent Marella Cruise. So we're just going to cover a few different topics, our overall opinions, and then a little Q&A at the end. So just as a reminder, we went on the Marella Discovery 2 around the Mediterranean. So our itinerary was Embarkation in Mallorca, and then we had a day at sea. We was in Corsica, and then we went to Rome, Florence, Toulon and Barcelona, and we did do 3 excursions within that time, and then we went off the ship twice in Corsica and Toulon as well. So we'll give you overviews of the excursions also. James is going to talk you through the embarkation process for Marella Cruise, and obviously we can compare it to embarkation on Disney Cruise Line as well.
We flew from Stansted. We stayed at the airport the night before. That was a bit awkward, wasn't it? Slightly. And then, yeah, flight in the morning was quick, wasn't it? Easy. Checked our baggage in there. Arrived in Palma early, wasn't it? 6. It's about 9 o'clock, wasn't it? By the time we got out of the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about that.
About 9:30, 9.
Yeah, we collected our baggage from the baggage reclaim at the airport, and then we went out of the like the arrivals entrance.
There was like a little flag table, like a table with a little sign above it that said Marella Cruise.
Yeah.
And there was Marella Cruise staff everywhere.
Yeah.
So prior to departure from the UK, you will have to print out your luggage tags. So once you book a Marella Cruise, you get access to another website called Marella Cruise Control, and that's where you pre-book your restaurants, your excursions, any added extras for your cruise, but most importantly, it's where you print out your luggage tags. So on that will be obviously your name, your ship, your cabin, and what deck you're on.
Yeah, yeah, because then she just checked that we'd done that, then told us where to go for the TUI coach. Then we all boarded the TUI coach. Our baggage went in underneath the coach, didn't it? Mm-hmm. And then we chose, and it was definitely the right thing to do, was to keep a hand luggage bag with some change of clothes, like pool clothes and stuff like that. Take that on board the coach, because once you get off the coach, your bags stay on there, and then they're taken by the cruise staff, aren't they? And are put at your cabin. I think they were supposed to be there by like 2 o'clock, weren't they? Your baggage will arrive at your cabin by about 2 o'clock at the latest.
Did we have to wait at all for our baggage, or was it there straight away?
It was pretty quick. It wasn't our baggage that we had to wait for. So they say that your cabin will be ready at the latest but some are obviously ready before. Well, we went to our cabin straight away, and it was already ready, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was good. Yeah. And then our baggage arrived not really that much after that, did it? So that operation's really good. I do recall that there was an announcement about if you hadn't received your baggage, blah blah blah, go to the theatre, and any baggage that's not been located will be there, and that's obviously people that have either A, not filled in their luggage tags, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Or B, their luggage tags have come off or something. Actually, that happened to us on a Disney cruise, didn't it?
Yeah, and you know why? And I realised when I picked up all of our mail from our previous address, they'd sent our luggage tags to our previous address. To the wrong address,
right.
I realised that now.
The process of boarding the ship was a lot smoother with TUI. I was kind of dreading like the security, the check-in process, all of that. But it was one of them things where you thought, oh, is that, like, that can't be it.
Yeah, when we got to the cruise terminal off of the coach, you go inside and there's just tables, obviously with Marella Cruise staff behind them, but the tables just have all the cruise cards laid out. So they just want your surname and what airport you've come from in the UK, and they'll give you your cruise card, and that is access on and off of the ship, as well as your cabin key, and then
anything that you want to put to the room.
Yeah, anything that you want to purchase.
Yeah.
Then they scan that as well.
And then after that stall, you go to pick your card up, then you go and do your actual check-in procedure where they activate your card, take a photo so that they can put it on your card, obviously, so they know that it's you boarding. And what's it opposite to boarding?
Disembarking.
I was going to say unboarding.
Yeah.
So they know it's actually you. And then if you wish to set up any like credit card or debit card to your room, you can do that then. We actually didn't at the start, did we? But I think if we was to go again, I would just do it then and there.
Yeah, when I went on the Voyager with conference, I done it then and there, because we ended up going to reception a couple of days later to put a card against our account anyway. So
yeah, but yeah, the whole process of arriving, boarding, getting into our cabin, getting our luggage was really, really good.
So I would say overall that I agree with you in that it was a lot calmer and quicker than Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah, it was a really stress-free process.
Yeah, and that's just because the embarkation procedure is slightly different. So for DCL, you have to all just accumulate in the terminal. You get assigned a boarding group number prior to embarkation, and you have to wait for your boarding group number to be called. Obviously with DCL you do also get the little added touches, so they will announce every single customer or family that board. So that is obviously something unique and special.
The Brown family, like that.
Because that is obviously something unique and special to Disney Cruise Line. So you win some, you lose some. So the cabin itself, we paid the upgrade price for a balcony cabin, and we also paid £65 to actually pre-book a specific cabin number, which I'm really glad we did, because I picked a deck 6 balcony cabin, and the cabin that I picked was literally 3 doors down from the coffee pot, so it was really convenient, wasn't it? Because we used the coffee pot quite a lot.
Yeah.
The cabin itself you would have obviously seen on the vlogs. I would say it was fine, to be honest. It served the purpose. The only things I would say about it was the vanity unit also served as the tea and coffee facilities station, which was obviously a bit awkward space wise, so I did actually have to end up moving the tea and coffee facilities tray over to the seat that was in the cabin, and the bathroom as well. I really didn't like the fact that it was a little shower curtain, because when you're trying to shower, wash your hair or whatever, it is sticking to you. Yeah. And that really makes me cringe when it's cold and wet sticking to you. Because I also think they can't clean these shower curtains. Do you know what I mean? How would they clean them?
Yeah.
But it is dependent on the ship, because I thought that that was just going to be a set thing throughout Marella Cruise. However, then when I did go on the Voyager for conference, as you'll see in the vlog, it is an actual shower cubicle, which was a really nice surprise. The only other thing I'd say, and it might be me being really picky, is just some of the finishes in the bathroom and the cabin itself weren't that great. I don't know if you noticed, the mastic in the bathroom was really bad. And I don't know if that's just me being picky, but I noticed those kind of things.
In a sort of more standard cabin, I think things like that are going to be more difficult, because it's a ship and it's a moving thing, and
it's done in mass.
Yeah, it's done in mass. However, when our cruise finished, the Discovery 2 was remaining in the port, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And all of the cabins, or I don't know if they was doing all of them or just starting and doing a section, were all being refurbished, wasn't they? Mm-hmm. So,
what did you think of the cabin?
I thought the cabin was fine. I thought it was very, very basic. I think if you checked into that room in a hotel, you'd probably be a bit disappointed. Mm-hmm. But for a cruise ship, I thought it was fine. It was clean. It was
Bed was comfy.
Yeah, it wasn't sad. It wasn't like it wasn't like a depressive plane, was it? It was just
Plane?
what's it called? Like basic. It wasn't a depressive basic. It was just.
Oh, I thought you meant plane as in like. Meow.
No, it wasn't depressive, but it was
Yeah.
basic. This isn't a comparison video between Disney and Marella, but the Disney cabin was something else.
But that was a new ship.
Yeah.
And it was Disney, so obviously it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, but likewise, the Disney cruise was probably like twice the cost of the Marella cruise for a quarter of the time.
Mm-hmm. One thing I would point out as well is that there's no mini fridge in the cabin. So if you're someone that needs a mini fridge for medication, I would reach out and phone Marella Cruise beforehand to see if any kind of adapted cabins actually come with a mini fridge, because that's something I did find quite disappointing actually, just from like an accessibility and inclusivity point of view.
Because obviously with the premium all-inclusive, you get a bottle of water every day, don't you?
I know.
And that doesn't go in the fridge.
Yeah. So that's a nice little segue actually, because the next thing we're going to talk about is the food, drink and the premium all-inclusive. So we did upgrade to the premium all-inclusive. Obviously the ship as standard is all-inclusive, so you don't need to purchase any kind of drinks package or anything like that with Marella Cruise. However, for the premium all-inclusive, it works out £12.14 per person per night. And additional to everything in the normal all-inclusive, you get soft drinks by the cans, which is really good because you can take it back to your cabin or out and about off of the ship. Can't put it in a fridge though. You also get upgraded cocktails and premium spirits, and you get drinks from the coffee pot included as well. Do just know that any food from the coffee pot is not included in the all-inclusive or the premium. However, the drinks are included just in the premium all-inclusive. If you do want something from the coffee pot and you're not on the premium all-inclusive, you can just have that charged back to your cabin and pay at the end of the cruise.
Yeah, but I think even if you're going to use the coffee pot, if there's two of you and you add... How much is a coffee on there? It's not going to be any less than £3.50, is it?
Well, I think it's like £2. They're not that expensive.
Oh,
£2
right,
to
okay.
£3 maybe. I can't really remember.
So if you say you had like a couple a day as a couple, you're sort of 3/4 of the way there of your daily allowance, aren't you? And that's excluding like the premium spirits, and I just think it was worth it.
Well, there are other soft drinks that are included. So when it says soft drinks by the can, it doesn't necessarily just mean Sprite, Coke, things like that. There's also J2O and Red Bull. So it does actually open up a lot more variety for people that may just want soft drinks. Because when you say premium all-inclusive, like when I used to sell it, and I would say about the premium all-inclusive, I'd get hit with the rejection of the, oh no, we don't really drink that much. Well, neither do we. But we used it for the coffee pot, and you probably had a couple of drinks from the coffee pot a day.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought it was worth it. And like you say, if you do end up having the odd cocktail here and there, you don't want to... I feel like you would end up having something that you didn't necessarily want because it wasn't on the list.
Well, when we went to bar 11 before the sushi bar, you had a cocktail. It was a Thai something.
Thai mojito.
And that was on the premium all-inclusive. And it just so, like, you didn't get it because it was. You liked the sound of it and it just so happened to be included. So it's definitely worth it in my point of view. What do you think about, let's go for the normal restaurants, so the ones that are included. So we've got the Snack Shack, Gallery, I must not get confused with the Voyager. Snack Shack, Gallery 47 degrees. They're the only ones, aren't they?
Well, and the buffet.
And the buffet.
Yeah.
Islands.
Buffet for me, slightly underwhelming. I would say that.
Mm-hmm.
You said that the buffet on your ship when you went for conference was really, really good, didn't you?
The buffet for Voyager was different because it was called the kitchens. So there was stations that weren't self-serve. They were served to you, but every station was a different theme.
Yeah.
Which I thought you would love.
Yeah, but I mean, even not incorporating that, it was functional, wasn't it? If you wanted food, the food was absolutely fine. It was just a lack of variety, really. For me personally. However, the breakfast at the buffet was absolutely fine, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
In fact, I want to say that I actually felt like the breakfast was better off. You was better off having the breakfast at the buffet than you was at 47.
I agree.
Gallery 47?
47 degrees.
47.
Gallery was the Italian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so a bit underwhelming for like lunch and stuff, but it was alright, wasn't it? There was nothing wrong with the food, there was just not that much of it.
And then what about the dining restaurant? So 47 degrees, which was just your like normal, I'd say, bistro pub kind of food. And we did notice halfway throughout the week the menu changed. And then Gallery 47 was the Italian.
Yeah. I was really impressed with both of them, really. The change in menu thing was really good. The food was really good. The wait time was really, really good as well. I mean, it's like it's a proper military operation, isn't it?
Yeah.
To prepare it, to deliver it, to clear it up, and on to your next course. Like, it was good, and the food was always hot. We never had to send anything back, was we? I mean, we're not particularly fussy, but we're both like pretty big foodies, and I thought the food was really good. I did in the Italian restaurant, possibly on our second visit there, I had a carbonara, which that was something that there was a small additional charge to the room. I think it was literally like €5 or something, or €10.
Pounds.
Oh, well.
I think it was £4.
Right, so it's like, and I think it was just because it was interactive. So they serve your pasta and they mix it in the cheese, don't they? So.
And how was that?
It's really good.
Worth the £4.
I think all of the buffet, I would rate that out of 10 stars. I probably would rate that like a 5. The snack shack probably like a 6.
The snack shack's really handy.
Yeah, really handy. Yeah, but no, maybe a 7 to be generous. Then it's a snack shack. It's like a barbecue style snack shack, and you can get things like hot dogs, burgers, chips,
chicken wings,
and you can also get like wraps, sandwiches, drinks, and stuff like that. That you can go. So you could go there early on a excursion day if you was going off of the ship, and you could get yourself like a couple of sandwiches, a couple of wraps, some bottles of water or drinks to put in your bag to go. And it's not like you can't do that and take it off the ship.
No, it's great.
Actually, I'm going to point something out that we've completely sailed past here. That I sailed past, pardon the pun, that I think was possibly one of the top food experiences was the restaurant or the lunch station in the glass house.
Oh yeah.
Which actually I think we only had it once.
Yeah, it was really nice.
But there was like really, and it was freshly cooked because you could, you get to like just before lunchtime, you could smell it being cooked. We had, I think, spatchcock chicken, corn on the cobs, fries. Yeah, there was pastas, salads. It was actually really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really nice. We ate there on our sea day after we'd spent the morning, like James said, in the glass house. Well, we actually spent the day there after all. But that was really nice. So you could go to the glass house just for the lunch, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the speciality restaurants. So we ate at the Surf and Turf. We ate at Kerala, which was like the Asian fusion, Indian-y inspired cuisine. and the sushi bar, which is inside Corolla.
Yeah, on like a separate like spring off.
I think all three of them were really, really nice,
Yeah,
and
really
worth the
good.
money as well.
Definitely.
If you watch the vlogs, I have put what each additional cost was for those 3 experiences.
The cost actually is not. It's not the same as going out for that meal. It's like really minor, isn't it?
Yeah, what you pay is probably the equivalent to like one main course at like a really, really nice restaurant. So
yeah, and all 3 of them were really, really good. I couldn't. There's not one thing about any of them that I sort of would say, no, wouldn't do that one again. Or
no, I thought all 3 were lovely.
Yeah, and the wait staff. Actually, the wait staff, regardless of whether you're in a specialty restaurant or just in any of the dining facilities, were really, really good, weren't they? But yeah, the specialty restaurants, the staff were really, really good, weren't they? Very informative about what you was eating. In the surf and turf, although our waiter was confused as to why I wanted a porterhouse steak, which was a sharing thing, wasn't it? It was a meal for 2, but I wanted it for me. And he was a bit confused by that.
Yeah, we did have to pay another supplement on top because James was ordering a sharing steak for himself, and it was £12 on top of the cost of the restaurant.
Yeah, but again, that was worth it. If you can eat a lot and you like your steak, then I would do that. And it's a pre-cut porterhouse as well, so it was really good.
So next we're going to talk you through entertainment activities. So during the day you can check on Navigate exactly what's going on where. There's a full timetable and itinerary of all the activities going on during your cruise, as well as in the cruise news that gets delivered to your cabin nightly. It will tell you again the full itinerary for the next day, so you can plan ahead as well. There was lots going on, and it was all the time as well, whether it be bingo and quizzes in the Squid and Anchor, films, dance lessons in the atrium, craft sessions in the coffee pot. There was always something going on, which we didn't really do any of it actually, did we? But I think if we was on the ship for 2 weeks, then we probably would have done more of the activities, or at least watched them. Entertainment wise, I thought the entertainment was really good. So every night was a different show. It was a lot of singing and dancing. So the only thing I would say is I would like to have seen more actual productions in terms of maybe their take on Grease or their take on Hairspray, rather than it always being a medley of lots of different songs with no real like storyline to anything. This cruise, I don't know if this is a thing on every Marella ship, but it has been on the Discovery 2 and then when I went on the Voyager, but they actually have in-house professional dancers. So our ones for the Marella Discovery 2 was Sebastian and Paula, and they was absolutely amazing. So they would contribute in the nightly productions, as well as they would do like their own bits. So one evening in the atrium they had a Strictly Come Dancing themed show. So they would do like a little dance, and then the audience had to guess what the actual dance was. Those guys also hosted dance lessons, and they were just really good. And I actually think the professional dancers are a really nice addition to the entertainment team for sure. Have you got anything to say about entertainment? I know obviously it's a bit hard for you because you're not really...
not really my cup of tea, but I could appreciate it.
Do you think if, like what I said, it was actual shows...
Yeah.
Rather than like always
just
a compilation of music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like if they'd actually one night put on a production of Jersey Boys or something, it would probably...
Well, I was actually really looking forward to the Yellow Submarine show, because I thought it was like specifically the Beatles themed, but it wasn't, was it? It was
just music from that era.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, activities and entertainment, really impressed. So now we're going to move on to our excursions. So for every destination there is a variety of excursions to pick from. Obviously you can just pick the one that best suits your needs, whether that be you need something that's not a lot of walking, that's not too long out of your day or anything like that, there will be something that suits. Obviously for Rome, we chose to do Rome on your own because I'd actually been to Rome before, so I kind of knew whereabouts certain things were. And you can pick from the 10 hours or 8 hours, but do just bear in mind that that time frame does include getting to and from the city. So from Civitavecchia, whatever it is, the trip into the city was something like 1.5 to 2 hours, and then obviously the same coming back. So I think we did actually get about 6 hours in the city, and that was more than enough time for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, although that seemed to be our opinion. Other people were sort of like, oh my god, there's so much to do, but we really utilised the public transport and
the metro was really good.
Yeah. And just being half decent at navigating and reading a map
It's all about the map.
made a big difference.
So yeah, there's not really much to say about that one because it wasn't necessarily an excursion. It was just sort of the transfer in and out of the city. Whereas the next day we actually done Florence. So we did actually do a proper excursion, didn't we? So it was called Once Upon a Time in Florence. And again, the transfer into the city was about 1.5 hours. However, our tour guide did pretty much talk the whole time, didn't she? Yeah. And then we had, I'd say the walking tour around Florence was maybe 1.5 hours.
Yeah, it was 1.5 hours and then like 3 hours of free time.
And that was like the perfect day for us, wasn't it?
Absolutely spot on. Really, really good day out that was.
Yeah, we loved it. We had a tour guide called Katerina. And yeah, she was brilliant. She wasn't over the top, but she was enthusiastic and very knowledgeable. And the group size was perfect. There was probably like maybe 15, 20 of us.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too much that we was constantly waiting for people. And the whole organisation of the excursions are really good as well. So when we went into our cabin on embarkation day, all of our tickets were there waiting, and on the tickets it tells you where to go on the morning of your excursion. You've got your bus number, so on the day you can literally go straight down to your allocated bus number, and that's it.
But you do have, every bus has an allocated time to disembark the ship, doesn't they? So if you're in Rome, not everybody who's getting off the ship is all getting off at the same time to get on their bus and be hectic. We didn't queue once to get off or on the ship, I don't think.
No.
Maybe like a slight queue, constant moving queue, but not.
We'd never stand still.
No, and we'd get off and the bus would be there waiting, and you're pretty much 5 minutes and you're away.
Our last excursion was Barcelona, and it was highlights of Barcelona. I think if you've not been to Barcelona and your intention for doing an excursion is literally just to see a snapshot of the city, then it's fine. The only thing I would say is it probably doesn't show you what I would consider the best parts of Barcelona. So we went to what the tour guide referred to as the Spanish Village to begin with, and it's kind of like a architectural and living museum. So it kind of resembles what Barcelona was like however many years ago. And there's shops and coffee shops and stuff there still. And then you get back on the coach and you go to the Sagrada Familia, but you park quite far away, so you have to walk up like the main road, obviously on the pavement, but up a hill to kind of, you don't really go that close to it, you're still over the road from it, and you just kind of take a photo and then go back down to the coach, and then the last stop was just somewhere else in the city for some free time. So I think really if you want to see the best of Barcelona, you'd probably just have to go there on a holiday, because it's honestly a massive city.
It seemed like a really long day out.
For not a lot. I don't know what the word is, not content, but substance, not a lot of substance for such a long day. Although the excursion was only 5 hours, I think, or 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours.
Yeah, funny that it seemed like such a long day, really, because your port is Barcelona, so you're not far away.
Yeah, I think maybe because we were on the coach quite a lot.
A lot of time on the coach, yeah. You get off, you get on, get off, you get on.
So I think if you would have no intention of going to Barcelona, just doing a tour would be fine. Maybe not the one that we done, because like I say, I don't think it really showed you the best bits. But if you actually want to appreciate Barcelona for the beautiful city that it is, then I would say just go on a city break there, because not only have you got the city side of it, you've also got the beach, and then if you was there for long enough, you could actually go down to Ventura, which is a really big theme park. So, but overall, I'd say the operational logistics of each excursion was really good.
Very well organised.
Very well organised.
Yeah.
Very easy to navigate as customers in terms of where you've got to be and when.
Yeah. Even for the excursions where you intend to not participate in a planned trip as such, like the Rome on your own, just having that, I don't know what he is, not a tour guide, is he? But just having that point of contact where you know you're being dropped off in the right place, you're being picked up at the right time, and you're gonna make it back onto the ship. And if for some reason something goes wrong, you're part of the crew.
If it all goes tits up, it goes tits up for everyone.
Yeah. And it's not going to, is it? Because they'll contact the ship and say, "We had an issue with this. We're stuck in traffic."
Although I will say, every excursion was like spot on with the timing.
How they do the timing.
We're gonna now cover any negatives or feedback that we had following on from this. So my first point was obviously on our first day, we had a couple of changes to our itinerary. So on our first day, obviously we was told that the surf and turf restaurant we had booked was overbooked, and that we had to actually pick another day to go and do it. And then obviously the thing with the spa as well, so our spa times got changed from 9 AM and 9:15 to both at 8 AM. Not necessarily, you know, bad things, it didn't ruin our holiday at all, but to start your holiday and then have like these things that you feel like you need to sort out just doesn't start the holiday off, you know, as well as it could. Some feedback I gave on the spa was that the lights stayed on the whole time I had my massage, whereas normally every other massage I've had, they dim the lights and turn the lights down. Especially then opening my eyes back up after the treatment, it was a bit of a shock for it to be like very, very bright artificial lights straight away. So I did give feedback that I felt that the lights needed to be turned off during treatment in the spa, and that some music would be appreciated as well, because it was just dead silent other than the occasional sound of someone running around on the running track above me. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think the lights were turned off for my one.
Were they?
I think so, yeah. I can't really remember too well, but I'm pretty sure they was.
The next bit of feedback, so when I say feedback, you can actually put this feedback through on the Navigate app. So the next bit of feedback I gave was that the cabin's absolutely Baltic. No matter what you do on the thermostat, the temperature does not improve, does it? To the point where I had to go to reception and mention it, and they said they were going to send someone, which I assume they did, because when we got back to the cabin that evening it was temperate, it was bearable, but then the next day it went back to being freezing again.
Yeah. Like,
it was very cold. My next point is that the coffee on board is terrible. So especially in Gallery 47 for breakfast, abysmal.
Yeah.
And the buffet, it's just like water. It's terrible. So your only good shot at getting a coffee while on board is at the coffee pool. And this must be an overall thing again for Marella Cruise, because when I went on the Voyager it was exactly the same. The only decent coffee was from the coffee pool. So again, another reason to upgrade to the premium all-inclusive, because you could grab your coffee on the way to breakfast, let's say. big tips for you. Obviously, we've already covered take a change of clothes in your hand luggage. So when you get on board the ship, you can change and be more comfortable. My next one is to pre-book your cabin. I know £65 may sound a bit steep, but trust me, it will benefit you if you can pay to pre-book your cabin. Because when I went to conference, obviously I had no say in what cabin or where I was. I had my deck 6 inside cabin, and it was the first cabin that you walk past when you come up the stairs or out of the lift, and it got so much traffic every night coming past, and it was so loud. So definitely pre-book your cabin to give yourself the best chance at just the most comfortable stay. And then obviously the third tip is premium all-inclusive.
Yeah.
I'd say 100% upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think, if we was going again, I don't think it would be a thing that we would say, should we get it? It would just be a given that we would do it.
Yeah. So I did put on our Instagram to ask us any questions that we would answer within this video as well. So we're going to go through a couple of them now. So the first question is, would we recommend Marella Cruise to others, and what rating out of 10 would we give it?
I would definitely recommend it to others, and out of 10, it's hard to rate it really because we've got no real comparison. I don't think it's fair to rate it against a Disney cruise because it's not the same thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably say maybe like a 7 to 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 7 to 8. I think if you just, it depends what someone wants as to if I'd recommend it to them. If they was to say to me, would you recommend it? I'd just say point blank yes. But if you want good food, good entertainment, most importantly good value for money, then 100% Marella Cruise would be an option for you.
Yeah.
And out of 10, I agree, 7, 8.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not the best food. It's not the best entertainment. You know, it would be kind of incomparable to Royal Caribbean or something like that, but they don't sell themselves on the best food and the best entertainment. It is really good value for money.
Yeah.
So Jack has asked, is it really busy in the restaurants?
Head over to JFR Productions.
Is it really busy in the restaurants to the point you can't move?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. I mean, the speciality restaurants, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, the Italian and the general restaurant, they were busy.
We never had to wait for a
but
table.
We never had to wait for a table. It's not overwhelmingly busy. You're not... I think once we was asked whether we would be happy to share a table, and we said no, and we still were seated straight away. You're not necessarily seated on top of one another, and you don't have to wait. That your wait time for your food is reasonable. It's not instant where you think, well, where the hell have they just put that from? And it's not forever that you think, oh, I want me food now.
And as well, I would say it's not really loud in the restaurants either, to the point where you're like shouting at each other across the table. The only tip in regards to that I would give is if you were to get to the buffet, I'd say any later than maybe 9:30, it would be busy, and you may kind of look around thinking, oh, I don't think there's a table in here. But before 9:30, you'd have no problems even in the buffet. Lunch and dinner at the buffet, no problems. So someone has said, how is it different to the Disney cruise you've done? I would start by saying, ship-wise, it's probably unfair to compare, because the Disney Wish that we went on was brand new, and it was absolutely beautiful. As the two cruises for a product, again, I would say they're very different. So when you're looking at a cruise, definitely research, watch vlogs, and make sure that it is going to offer what you're after from that holiday. Because obviously the Disney Cruise Line, everything about it is just magical.
Yeah, it's not fair to... It's too difficult to compare Disney and Marella.
It's so different.
It's a completely different experience. The similarities end at the fact that they're at sea.
Staring by the sea.
Yeah, and then, after that, you're going in different directions.
Yeah, even like the restaurants that are included in the price with Disney obviously are so far-fetched and interactive and over the top.
Yeah, and it's a very immersive experience, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say similarities obviously would be like really good service and, like James said, the fact that they're ships at sea. But we love both equally.
Yeah.
We would do either again.
Which answers our next question, would we do it again? So yeah, we would do it again.
100%.
Yeah.
And we have actually been saying that we know our next Marella cruise would be Caribbean. We would like to do Caribbean, probably like cruise and stay or something. But that would probably have to be 2027. No. Yeah.
2030.
Yeah, because we've already got our holidays for next year and 2026 in the pipeline. So stay tuned to find out what they're going to be. Was it good value for money?
Yes.
Yes. Obviously, do bear in mind that I do have the advantage of TUI putting some money towards our holidays, which is one of the benefits of working for TUI. We don't get free holidays. It's not an unlimited fund, nothing like that. But I would say even at full price, it's really good value for money for what you get included, considering it's all inclusive as standard as well.
Yeah.
What other cruise lines would you want to sail with?
To be honest, like the Royal Caribbean doesn't really appeal to me. I don't know if I quite like the idea of P&O.
I would definitely.
I'd quite like to try a P&O. And I think I would quite like to try like Norwegian.
I was going to say Norwegian because my mum and dad swear by Norwegian. They say it's the best food on a cruise they've ever had. So I do think we definitely need to try Norwegian, and I'm thinking maybe a little cheeky P&O over to Belgium or something might be quite nice.
Yeah.
What other places would we want to visit on a cruise?
I'd quite like to do like the Northern Hemisphere.
What's that?
I think it's the Northern Hemisphere. Like Northern Iceland and.
Oh, okay.
I'd quite like to do that.
Yeah, Norway, the fjords, things like that.
Yeah.
I would love to do places that I wouldn't necessarily holiday at. So around maybe Canada and some parts of the US and Alaska. Might be quite cool.
Yeah.
Right, our last question. Would you say a balcony is a must?
Definitely. We've spoken about this before, haven't we? And we've said, I don't know, you probably don't appreciate the balcony as much as I do. But for me, definitely. I like being out on the balcony. It's sometimes nice to sit out there, read a book. If the weather's really, really warm, you can have your balcony open while you're sort of chilling out in the room, can't you? Let a bit of air in. And I imagine it's a lot less claustrophobic feeling than an internal cabin.
I would agree, but I will put a caveat. I would say if...
That's fish eggs, isn't it?
I would say if budget allows, but I would say at least an outside cabin, which means you have a window, because I had done an inside cabin, which means no window, no natural daylight for 3 nights for conference, and it was horrible. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, not know if it was the middle of the night or middle of the day. To have no natural daylight was quite disorienting and quite hard. So I would say an outside cabin is a must. A balcony is a luxury. And again, it would depend on the itinerary. If we was doing a 3-night winter cruise to Amsterdam, you don't need a balcony.
Yeah, I think you do.
However, if we were doing 2 weeks around the Caribbean, 100% we would have a balcony. So I think it does depend on the itinerary, weather, time of year, things like that as well. So that concludes our holiday debrief. I do hope you found some of that information useful, but if there's anything that we did miss, then please either comment below with any more questions or feel free to follow us on Instagram and pop us a message because we do always reply.
That being said, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon.
But until next time, we're going to love you and leave you, and it's goodbye from me.
And dinner for me.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Can you make sure you're in it?
Well, you keep getting further and further away. You've just done it again.
Look at me in the camera light. Perfect. So on count 3, say Hello everybody. Body, not one. Okay.
Hello everyone.
Everybody. You're such a dickhead. I knew you were going to do that.
Hello everybody. Why are you doing that?
To keep tasting your own medicine. And then we had a day at sea, and then we was in Corsica, and then we had Florence.
And then
Corsica.
And then Rome.
Look, remember James, these are the points that I've put down here.
Yeah, I don't need
worry
any
if you need
points.
to keep referring to them. Okay, so if you've not got the premium all inclusive, stop it, gosh. And then what about the
Snapchat, alright.
entertainment wise, I thought the entertainment. What do you think, Nelly? What was your entertainment like at Grandma and Pop's? She gave them a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, let's go on. Let's have dinner.
1, 2, 3.
Bye everybody. Oh, I thought
No, bye is just bye.
bye is just bye.
Thank
Say
you.
Say bye.
Woof woof.